I've been using the Apple Watch Ultra 3 for 2 weeks now, and I switched over from the Apple Watch Ultra 2. Why did I do that? No idea. But you guys are not here to learn about my poor financial decisions, so I think you're here to learn more about the Apple Watch Ultra 3. So let's get started. And oh hey, if you're new here, I make no BS tech reviews. I just say it how it is. I don't like to go deep into specs because a lot of people just don't care about them. I just say it how it is. So if that's something you like, definitely consider subscribing. Let's kick things off with the design. Now, overall, things have stayed the same. In fact, it would be nearly impossible to see which one is the new one. The Ultra 3 does carry over that titanium, which is awesome because I actually smacked my Apple Watch Ultra 2 around a lot, especially like on tables or like going through doors. Sometimes I think I'm way more muscular than I am, and I end up walking through the door thinking I'm a bookshelf, and I end up banging my watch on the wall. It got scratched up a little bit, but overall, it looks pretty darn good. However, this is my first year going with a DLC black titanium coating, so it will be interesting to see if the bumps against the walls will kind of chip off the coating. It will. I'm just kind of wondering how easy will it, because you can't fool physics. You can definitely chip the DLC coating off. Even though DLC is just an abbreviation for diamond-like coating, so you're thinking, oh my god, it's going to be like super like durable. No. So be careful. Now, there is a visible difference to the Apple Watch Ultra 3, at least that I've noticed, at least within the first 10 seconds of me taking the watch out of the box, and it's that the display is a little bit bigger. Not by much, but believe me, it's not something that you're going to be rushing out over and upgrading, but it is a little bit better. It's more of a refinement. I don't think it's supposed to be like extremely noticeable, but it's a refinement. But what is noticeable is the brightness. The brightness has now been increased to 3000 nits of peak brightness, which is definitely good enough for all of you outdoorsy people out there. Me, I am more of an indoorsy person myself. All right, anytime I go out, it's to check the mail. And even that's not every day. The display on the Watch Ultra 3 is now LTPO 3 wide angle display, so that just means you'll be able to view the display at a harsher angle and still see it perfectly fine, and that is something that I can definitely confirm. For example, with my Watch Ultra 2, if I'm watching a movie in a dark room, I do have some trouble seeing the time depending on the position of my wrist, and with the Watch Ultra 3, it did get upgraded by a good amount. Like, I have no issues no matter which angle my wrist is at. I can still see the time, the notifications, or whatever else. Another upgrade to the display is that it now goes down to 1 Hertz, and this is something that I didn't really think I would care or even really notice. But it's actually pretty cool. I actually noticed it when I was cooking. So instead of setting a timer, which I don't really do because I'm very lazy, I just keep track of how many minutes I need to flip something over. So I just look at my wrist, and without activating the display, I can still see the seconds hand updating even in its always on state. This was something that was not possible on the Watch Ultra 2. So if that, matters to you, well, now you know. So what about the battery life of the Watch Ultra 3? Did it get upgraded? Because the Watch Ultra 2 was alright. Now, I will admit, Apple Watches, in my opinion, are like the most consistent Apple product when it comes to battery life. So I know for a fact with my Watch Ultra 2, if I charged it to 100%, I know for a fact it will last me exactly 2 days. Like at the end of the second day, it's like clockwork, man. I already know at the end of the second day, boom, put it on the charger. So with the Watch Ultra 3, I'm getting like 2.5 days. It's not a huge difference. It's actually, it could be like the fact that my Watch Ultra 2, the battery capacity since I've had it for a whole year has diminished. So if I got a brand new Watch Ultra 2 and a brand new Watch Ultra 3, I'm pretty sure the battery life would be more or less the same. Something that's really cool is hypertension detection, and it's something that I'm very interested in, mainly just so I can catch it before it becomes a problem, if it becomes a problem. I do have hypertension in my family history. Thank God I don't have it, but it's something to keep in mind, and especially because you know, when's the last time you actually took a reading from a blood pressure cuff? You know, it's like, I don't even remember the last time I did it, you know? So now that your watch can, it won't give you the number specifically, because obviously there's nothing here to give you like the actual numbers, but it uses some sort of algorithm to kind of help interpret, oh, hey, you might have high blood pressure, or you're good. This, of course, is a huge deal because, as you know or may not know, hypertension has no side effects. So until it's too late. And you don't want to wait until that moment. Sleep score is also new, and at least for me, it's been crazy accurate, like scary accurate. I don't know what Apple did with their algorithms, but the Watch 3 knows exactly when I go to bed and when I wake up. I even tried to trick it by scrolling on TikTok, being very still. I can trick my Garmin. I also have a Garmin smartwatch. I can trick my Garmin that way, and I was thinking, okay, let me try the Apple Watch. Nope, I couldn't trick it. The other health metrics have also been very, very accurate. The step tracker, heart rate tracking, sleep tracking, workout tracking, it's all been phenomenal. In fact, the Qualified Scientist, by the way, great YouTube channel. He does a ton of like reviews and like actual like scientific studies and data on like wearables like the Whoop or the Apple Watch. And for him, the Apple Watch Ultra 3 was like among the top most accurate smartwatch out there. So, you know, something to keep in mind. I was really hoping for charging speeds to increase, and they did, but not by much. Like I'm noticing maybe like a 10 to 15 minute difference. I mean, it's a nice upgrade, you know. It's still a little bit faster, but you know, we got watches like what, the OnePlus Watch 3 or the OnePlus Watch 4, whatever the new one is, it can charge fully in like 20 minutes, you know. So it did get a little bit quicker, but not by much. So in my opinion, who should buy the Watch Ultra 3? Well, this is kind of difficult because I don't really know how you use your watch. I don't know what's important to you, but when it comes to value, just taking value into consideration, if you have the Watch Ultra 2, I wouldn't really suggest upgrading. In fact, if you have the Watch Ultra 1, even then I wouldn't really recommend upgrading unless you really wanted one of those newer features. Then I can, you know, suggest it. But if you don't really care and your watch works just fine, I don't see the reason to upgrade. Now, if you've never used an Apple Watch before and you're kind of looking to get into one, yeah, this is a fantastic option. I definitely recommend it. Go out and buy it like right now. Please, go. Anyway, what do you guys think of the Apple Watch Ultra 3? All in all, I think it was a very small upgrade. I was expecting bigger. I was expecting maybe thinner but better battery, maybe a silicon carbon battery to really push that battery life into the 3-day mark. Hopefully we'll get there in like the next 10 years, Apple, maybe, you know. But yeah, it's just a very small upgrade. I like the bracelet. The bracelet looks nice. The titanium one, it matches the watch good. It's very comfortable. I mean, all in all, it's the same Watch Ultra 2 with just, here's that and here's that. That's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed today's video, definitely click that like button. And if you're new here and you like no BS tech reviews, definitely subscribe. And as always, this was Mark from MarksTech. Adios.